Update. My ex-girlfriend past her family barely contacts me that she had a baby. All the info and advice you guys gave in my original post meant a lot to me, so thanks for that. Some of you wanted an update. What can I say, shit's been chaotic. Finally met my son and that was just a truckload of emotions hitting me all at once. Wasn't expecting it. My ex's mom had to take him for a minute because I was literally sobbing. It wasn't because I didn't want to be his dad or anything. It's one of those moments where everything hits you at once and only thing you can do is cry. She understood it though and she cried with me. She's a sweet lady. One of those ladies that treats everyone like her child because of how caring she is. My son has my ex's nose and the shape of her eyes. That's what hit me more. Just because we broke up for the meantime while I was at my dad's didn't mean I stopped being in love with her. And now we have a baby together, only she won't get to be here to share that family experience and I miss her so much. Got to hold my son, introduce myself to him. Me and her mom talked about the custody stuff, already got a lawyer for that to make the process easier. So everyone's on the same page. They let me stay over, talked more about my ex, had a few beers with her dad. I stayed at their house a few days because honestly I was still terrified of being left alone with my son because I had no clue what the hell to do with him. They were both really kind and patient about showing me how to change his diapers, feedings, how to give him a bath, rock him to sleep, how to install the damn fucking car seat in my car without throwing it on the floor. Her parents were nice enough to let me spend the night, so every time he woke up I'd be there either to watch her how she does everything, then I started doing it. He's been with me almost 2 weeks at my place. Got mostly all his stuff with me. Looking for a 2-bedroom, but for now he's sleeping in his bassinet in my room. It's been really hard. Especially the first night I probably called her mom like 5 times within 2 hours because he would not stop crying. Then his pediatrician because I'm freaking out something might be wrong with him. Calming him down whenever he got fussy was my weak spot. Nothing I tried was working. Singing to him seemed to help a lot, walking around my apartment and rocking him nonstop. It's still not easy, at least now I'm feeling more confident that I can't handle the crying and not freak out enough to call for help. Taking time off from work again so I can be here with him full time. I'm tired, stressed, still got a lot going on emotionally. But I'm also just happy when I'm holding him or making him smile. Honestly, the little stuff he does, even his cute little sneezes, makes me love him even more. Seems like he's starting to like me too. Almost everyone in my family has met him on Zoom. My mom's come over to see him. She's offering to do babysitting once I go back to work in another few months, so that's one less thing to worry about. I just wish my dad would have had the chance to meet him. I know they would have been best friends and he'd definitely spoil my son so much. And it's like my ex knew that too. So didn't know this until her parents gave me his birth certificate, but my ex wanted his middle name to be my dad's, so that was a nice surprise for me. That he's got his grandpa's name too. I'm slowly adjusting to this new life. Not easy, he makes it worth it. I want to be his dad and give him the best I can the way my dad did with me. Edit. Original post. Keep on doing exactly what you've been doing. It definitely takes a village and you have a great one. Man. I'm just an internet stranger, but I am so proud of you. I'm proud of you, too. And I want you to be proud of you. I know his mom is smiling, watching over you too, knowing y'all's beautiful little boy is being loved by his daddy. Keep it up, you're doing wonderful. Less than 3. Man, I teared up reading this. I remember the original. Please know that no parent knows what they are doing. And that you're doing great. I hope you can maintain a great relationship with your ex's family. Not just for you but your son too. Also consider some therapy for yourself. This post is so bittersweet. Best of luck op. You're doing great. When my daughter was a baby I called my mum in tears at 3 a.m. cause she wouldn't sleep and I couldn't figure out why. I felt like such a failure, but it's totally normal and everyone goes through it. You're not alone. I'm in tears. So proud of you, and so moved by your story. Your in-laws sound wonderful, as does your mom. I'm so sorry for the loss of your ex and of your dad. She sounds like she was a wonderful woman who fully believed you would all be a family together. She clearly believed in you. I truly hope that when you get to the point where you can find love again, your future partner understands that your son's mom will always be a part of your family and the same for her parents. Good luck and enjoy the journey. He'll be grown up before you know if, so savor every moment. Given all the horrible crap that permeates Reddit, this was really wonderful to read. I don't even know you in real life, but I am so proud of you. Also, your son's middle name touched my heart. All the best. I'm proposing tonight and my stomach is tied in knots. I'm 27F. Finally going to propose to my boyfriend, 29M, tonight. Please be kind, Reddit. I don't need anyone telling me that a woman shouldn't propose to a man as I'm already pretty stirred up. I had been ready to do this. I finally got the ring after I originally had planned to do it, but things went sideways. I posted to this sub before on how things went then if you want to see what happened. Apologies, I don't know how to link that to this post. Well, we had been planning to go to Florida to vacation at his mom's beach house this weekend. Fate had other plans, however, because we missed our flight yesterday. We would have been on time had the subway station southbound trains were working. We drove to the airport and there was basically no parking in economy or in daily parking. Then the TSA line was ridiculously long. I've never seen the Atlanta airport so busy. We were walking along the line and one of the airport workers opened up the security ribbon to let some people through, but then didn't tell us where to go. My boyfriend and I walked up to him and asked where we were supposed to go and he directed us to the back of the line. That's right. We had to go through this line twice and we missed our plane by 7 minutes. We tried to get another flight or plan for one for today, but it was too much money for just a weekend trip. I started to think, is this a sign I shouldn't do this? What if this means he would say no? Was this a bad idea? I love him, we've been best friends for 8 years, dating almost 3. We have been talking about the rest of our lives together and getting married eventually, etc. etc. I don't need to get married right away. If anything, I want a long engagement just so we can enjoy that. I just want to move to the next level and let him know how serious I am in my feelings towards him. I talked to one of my best childhood friends who told me that nothing I was doing was wrong and he knew I was doing the right thing. That helped me calm down a bit, and I decided, fuck it. Vacation or not, I'm doing it tonight. So, I decided to take him to Main Event, like a Dave and Buster's, and have a couple of close friends come, which he only knows one of them is coming. It should be a blast once he sees our other close friends as well. I think what I'll do is talk to the dude who hands out prizes and ask him, her to hold onto the ring until the end of the night. Then when we go to turn our tickets in, I'll ask him then. This morning, I smoked and now I'm feeling anxious all over again. I know his mom and brother wouldn't approve. What if he says no because of that? What if he doesn't like that I'm doing it in a public setting? What happens if he says no and then I feel embarrassed and ashamed and when we're on the way home we break up? Surely I'm overthinking, right? Too long did not read. I'm proposing to my boyfriend of almost 3 years tonight and I'm really anxious. I'm having normal feelings, right? Propose to him, you can do it in public, but I'd advise against it. I'd also strongly urge you not to propose in front of your friends. Even just going for a romantic evening stroll before dinner and getting it out of the way is a good idea. It doesn't have to be a huge IG moment. Oh, please don't let a completely random stranger hold a piece of valuable jewelry. If anything, if a friend will be there, engineer it so that they can give it to the employee at the last minute. That's asking for something to go wrong. Don't assume a complete stranger has your interests above their own. If the Main Event prize counter staff reads this, I'm sure you're lovely. I know his mom and brother wouldn't approve. What if he says no because of that? Do you want a man who can't make his own decisions? What happens if he says no and then I feel embarrassed? A marriage proposal shouldn't be a surprise, only when and where. You need to know if he wants to get married. Have you talked to him about it? Good luck. I think you proposing is the cutest thing and you should totally go for it. Doesn't matter what the norm is. I think it's wonderful that you want to do the proposing. But I highly suggest you don't do it in public. Doing it in public forces the person to act how they think the people around them are expecting them to act. You don't want him to say yes just because he didn't want to embarrass you in public or in front of friends. Make it a private thing so that you get his genuine reaction. Best of luck. The proposing shouldn't be a surprise, the where should be the only surprise. Something to consider before proposing. There is way too much uncertainty for you to move forward. His family won't approve? You have no idea what he'll say? Sounds like you'll be putting him in a really uncomfortable position. I believe proposals should just be a formality. Both couples should be 100% on board before a proposal happens, especially a public one. Listen to your gut. You should know he will say yes because you two should have agreed on this being the year you get engaged. The risk of damaging this relationship just for what? A long multi-year engagement that will lose its meaning the longer it drags on? So exciting. Congrats. Yes, hella butterflies. Just remember Murphy's Law. Be prepared for things not to go exactly as planned, but that the outcome will be the same. Good luck. I'm not here to give advice. I'm here to say let us know how it goes. Could my boyfriend be a feeder if he isn't attracted to overweight women? He's always said how much he thinks fat women are gross, and how he'd leave me if I ever get fat. He's always pushed that slim waist, big hips, and a bust are attractive and that I needed to fill out my figure more with squats, but not get fat. Early on in our relationship, when he lived with his parents still, he would invite me to come and spend time with him at his parents' place. We would hang out, play pool, watch movies, etc. But his mum would make his dinner, and being a good host would ask if I wanted any too. I don't like relying on other people for things, so would have eaten dinner already before coming over. I'd tell her I was fine, I'd already eaten. He would tell her to make me a plate too, so she would. He would then bully me into finishing a whole second dinner, telling me that early I thought his mother's cooking was awful, that he'd tell her I didn't like her food, or disliked her as a person, etc. I brought it up with him, that he had done this repeatedly for months, regardless of me saying I wasn't hungry, insisting I eat more than I wanted. Until I felt sick, just so he'd stop bullying me. He told me if I had just not eaten at my own home, it would never have been a problem. Now, we live together, and he pushes me to finish dinners he can't eat. When I try to portion control, he accuses me of trying to starve myself and shames me for being anorexic. I'm now 20 kilograms overweight, and thoroughly depressed about how I look, but he keeps pushing me to eat more. Then blames my body image and weight on all those energy drinks. I drink 1, 2 on a really bad day, 500 ml a day. And I know they're not good, but they're the only thing I have that are making me feel better right now since I quit smoking. Every time I try to implement a diet for myself he shames me, and forces me to overeat. But if he wants to lose weight or tone up, he insists I must conform to his new life choice. It's starting to drive me really batty, that I look at my rolly tummy, and my wobbly thighs, and hate them. But he'll make fun of them 1 second and when I get upset tell me he loves them and I'm not fat, I should just do more squats to tone up. Like, I just today heard about feeders, people who feed their significant other until they're overweight because they find that attractive. Do you think that's what he's doing to me, even though he's always told me how much he hates overweight people? He could very well be trying to isolate you by making you undesirable to others. At least what he considers undesirable. Either way he's abuse as fuck. Get out. Wow. This dynamic is so very toxic. You need to consider getting the hell away from this guy. He's going to give you an eating disorder. He's a sick and abusive fuck. Please get out and get help. You have serious issues if he treated you like shit all this time and you still moved in with him. You're focused on the label, but the label is not as important as the crazy, unhealthy dynamic you guys have going on. He shouldn't be commenting on your eating. Period. He shouldn't be bullying you to do anything. Don't put up with it. Less of a feeder, more of a manipulative asshole. He's pushing you to do things you say no to and is guilting you in every way possible. He doesn't respect your boundaries. And if he is a feeder, the same things still apply. He would be pushing his own fetish onto you without your consent. He's trying to fuck with your self-esteem and trap you. How awful. Whether he is or isn't a feeder is completely irrelevant to your situation in my view. The way he treats you is the definition of emotional abuse and totally unacceptable. Please consider putting yourself first and getting out of this relationship before you get stuck with someone who will never make you feel like you are good enough no matter what you do. Seems like it's not so much the weight aspect but the control aspect that appeals to him. In which case it's not a feederism kink, it's an abuse tactic. He creates a situation, i.e. making you overeat, then uses your inevitable weight gain as a justification to make shitty comments to you. That kinda tactic is hook, line and sinker for abusers. This guy, M29, I've been seeing has been trying to get me, F19, pregnant. I met this guy at work. Let's call him Matt. I'd seen him around a few times, thought he was attractive but never really said more than hello. That was until a few weeks ago when he added me on Facebook. I accepted, we started talking pretty quickly and he asked me if I wanted to hang out with him. I agreed. The first time we hung out we just went for a couple of drink and a chat. He seemed super nice at first. The second time he bought me some drinks again. We ended up kissing and spoke about next time going even further. I agreed. The third time I bought a couple of condoms with me as I knew we would be going back to his place and having sex. He seemed reluctant at first to wear the condom but after asking me a few times if he had to use it, he did. He complained the whole time about not being able to feel anything and he'll make sure to pull out next time. I was slightly drunk and agreed next time he could do it without one. This happened a few more times, over about a week, with him pulling out each time. Today, he asked to do anal no condom and finish inside me. I agreed, but after we'd had sex, Matt asked me what I'd do if I was pregnant. I said I wasn't sure as I still live at home with my parents, and don't want to be a mum before I'm 25 or so. He then told me he wouldn't mind if he got me pregnant because he wants kids by the time he's 30 anyway, so he would just make the best out of the situation and he would probably make me his girlfriend if that happened, as he wants his kids to have both parents around. I immediately felt uncomfortable with this guy and didn't know what to say. I feel so stupid. I've only been talking to him for 3 weeks and have slept with him at least 10+ times, only one of those with a condom. How do I tell Matt that from now on he has to wear a condom if he wants to continue having sex and that it's not negotiable? You don't. You run. Run as fast and as far as you can. You've been with the guy 3 weeks and he is trying to get you pregnant. He is much older and is manipulative. Seriously, please break up with him. You are here asking for advice on how to get him to respect your bodily autonomy. In no way is this acceptable. Any relationship worth having would not involve any of this. Any guy who is worthy wouldn't be saying any of this shit to you. Condoms aren't just to prevent pregnancy either. You are having unprotected sex with someone you barely know. Have you or him been tested for STIs? Girl, come on, get it fucking together please. You're 19, he's 29. He has no business messing around with you. He straight up admitted to trying to get you pregnant. Do you know why he'd do that to you and not a woman his age? Because teens are easier to manipulate. What are you going to do? Nothing, and that's what he's counting on. If you don't want to be pregnant before 25, I suggest you force him to wear a condom or nothing. Honestly, you shouldn't even be sleeping with him. You run and avoid him because he's a creep. Just so you know, you can still be pregnant after pull-up. It has up to 50–60% chance to succeed, and you can have multiple STD. For the sake of your health and pregnancies, wear a condom every time you have sex, unless you take the pill or another proved method and have seen your partner's test results. If he's having casual sex with you in order to have a kid and then make you a girlfriend, he is putting that unprotected into others with the same goal. Ick. So just stop having sex with him. Is dick from this guy really that important? JFC. This person has zero respect for you. Go. Now. What's it gonna take for teens on this website to realize they shouldn't entertain pedophiles?